classes. I would like to make a few announcements. Participants are requested to mute themselves. You can ask your questions in the chat box, to which the speaker will reply in the end of the session. We welcome to the questions and comments both in English and Hindi. Next, I take this an opportunity to invite Shelja ma'am to kindly speak a few words and introduce our guest speaker. Over to you, ma'am.
A very good morning to all of you. I welcome you all to today's session. With some more series we are now starting today. And it's indeed a pleasure to introduce Bhavya Arora to all of you. I know her personally. And the interesting point is she is the ex-student of Zakir Hussain College. And in only 3-4 years, she has been able to achieve so much success in her field that we are so happy to have her here as a speaker, guest speaker. I welcome Bhavya and I want to briefly introduce you to her, okay, because we are going to have a series which will continue for the entire month of March with Bhavya, and we are planning some more things with her. So I'll actually be very glad to introduce her. She is the founder and CEO of New Thought Therapist. This is a startup which she has started on her own. And she is a TEDx speaker, global competence trainer, intercultural learning trainer, and counselor. And to add more to her achievements or her CV, she is internationally certified psychotherapist from India, China, and Netherlands. Bhavya is currently providing mental health services in the capacity of a private counselor. So she provides consultation as a trainer and mental health specialist with various startups and social impact organizations. See, she was telling me she just last week did a session with IIT Delhi students, and she's in collaboration with AIMS Delhi also. So her hands are full. She's doing a lot on mental well-being, okay, not only for students, but for all the people around the world. And she has been interacting with foreigners also through her sessions in USA and Netherlands. So I would say her reach is quite wide. It's global, not Indian. So it's an opportunity. It's a great opportunity and a great chance to have her with us. So over to you, Bhavya, looking for an enlightening session and relaxation and lightness at the end of the session. Thanks so much for joining us on Sunday. And all the students here are waiting eagerly to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Elja ma'am. Indeed, we know each other in a personal capacity, and so heartwarming to be back to the Zakir Hussain space. It's been few years. I was actually going through my experience and how, you enter like a student. I entered in my undergraduation at Zakir Hussain back in 2015, graduated in 2018, and after did my specialization, which makes me the youngest practicing in the world of my specialty. So thank you so much. Indeed, a pleasure and honor to be back here. Really looking forward to talk to all of you. मैं Hindi English mix रखूंगी. Give me a thumbs up if that works for you. I am very open as a trainer, so please let me know comments में how it is going. I will share my screen with you for a moment to introduce the topic. हम in fact एक series कर रहे हैं. I am a very systematic trainer, which basically means that I entered the space by the way of mental health back again. So I graduated, did my postgrad diploma, and then I joined an organization wherein I was working with 14 countries and I was managing 4 international governments ke projects in India. Then Sushant Singh's death happened, if you remember, back in 2020. It was so sad. So not a lot of people know it. I'm just now finding my comfort and personal therapy to talk about it as well. My own father is a special child. So I've had history of social stigma, mental health issues, caretaking issues, and all of that in my own space. So mental health was very close to me, and the way that we were talking about mental health back in June 2020, jab Sushant Singh ki death hui, and I realized that this is not happening. This is not how, we can keep going on with how our society talks about mental health. I left my job. My directors did not approve the decision because you don't leave a job in the middle of the pandemic. And I decided that I'll do something I did not know what, and something is what brought us here 2 years from now, almost a year and a half from now. Currently, I run a startup. It's called New Thought Therapist, where the purpose is to expand access to simplified psychoeducation. So the purpose is कि psychoeducation available है. Click away में तुम्हारे पास links available हैं. Information available here, but what is missing in that link is a cultural context, because a lot of the information is westernized. It does not have Indian cultural context. If they tell you to go on a hike with mountains, give me a hands up how many of you can tell your parents कि मेरी mental health खराब है, मैं hike पे जा रहा हूँ mountains पे. None of you can. I can't tell my family and just go as well, right? But the articles and the way that the recommendations are, they're not Eastern culture focused, or they're not rooted in our realities. Another thing that they miss out on is, because the cultural context is missing, the challenges that they're talking about, the way that the challenges are portrayed, student life, otherwise relational challenges, that is very westernized. तो जब हमारे context का ही दवाई नहीं मिल रही है, तो हमारी प्रॉब्लम भी जल्दी सॉल्व नहीं होती है. So the idea is to also offer education in a form that is culturally appropriate as well. So we will be talking a lot about well-being in the 5 series. We will be talking it through the lens of you and your uniqueness. For example, मेरे जो challenges दिल्ली में हो, I know we sit in a diverse group. जब भी हम दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में बात करते हैं, हो सकता है भोपाल के स्टूडेंट के कुछ और challenges हो, साउथ के स्टूडेंट के एकदम different challenges हो. So हर information यहाँ पे जो आएगी, that can be best suited to your area, and वो इस तरीके से आएगी that you sit and reflect for yourself, so that it's not like मैं परोस रही हूँ कि ऐसे करो, but you are finding and figuring it out for yourself. So setting the tone for the upcoming 5 weeks in a way that you will be exploring a lot. And the idea of the exploration is self-reflection, self-awareness, and a lot of scientific information integrated in your system, so that you know कि जो चीज कर रहे हो, एक facilitated format में you are exploring that thing, and एक के बाद एक step format में है, how do you move forward with that? Give me a thumbs up if that works. I interact, I mean, this is how I am as a trainer. I might as well call you a good thing अगर मैं बोल giving already a good disclaimer. Agar मैं बोलूं that tell me about something and you don't speak, I will say the name of the 3 people on my screen. So that is something I did too, that if we ask for interaction, it is interaction all throughout. So be prepared for that. All right. The first lecture in the series, or the topic in the series, is exploring well-being. कि हम लोग बात बहुत करते हैं कि well-being होना चाहिए, mental health challenges हैं, stress बढ़ रहा है, anxiety बढ़ रही है, but we don't really know that what do we mean when we talk about well-being. A lot of times well-being और wellness दो कॉन्सेप्ट ही इंटरमिंगल हो जाते हैं, और हमें तभी भी नहीं पता होता है कि हाँ ठीक तो हूँ. हिंदी में अगर बात करें कैसे हो, ठीक हूँ, बट ठीक की डेफिनेशन क्या है? ठीक कब बोलोगे कि आप ठीक हो? मेरे सर में दर्द हो रहा है, पर तभी भी कई बार जवाब निकलता है हाँ मैं ठीक हूँ. मेरे को बहुत स्ट्रेस हो रहा है, अंदर से रोना निकल रहा है, डेडलाइन टाइमलाइन नहीं मीट हो रही है, असाइनमेंट सबमिट नहीं हुए हैं, पर जवाब निकलता है हाँ जी मैम हम ठीक हैं. पर ठीक कैसे हो? सो वो ठीक की डेफिनेशन समझना बहुत जरूरी है कि ठीक कब बोलेंगे हम किसी को दैट आई एम वेल, and I am experiencing wellness या I am okay. वो okay की definition क्या है और वो okay की definition और degree आपकी space में क्या है, not कि कोई क्या कहता है कि नहीं है. I have a tool of University of Berkeley that I'll share by the end of the presentation. That will be a homework for you to explore before the next session कि आप समझ कर आओ. 10 मिनट का क्विज है, बट टेक दैट रिफ्लेक्शन फॉर योर सेल्फ उस स्केल में कि आप वेलबींग में किस एरिया में कितने वेल हो. देन जब हम ठीक की बात करते हैं, मैं एकेडमिकली ठीक हूँ, पर क्या मैं फाइनेंशियली ठीक हूँ? मे बी नॉट. क्या मैं फिजिकली ठीक हूँ, मेंटली ठीक हूँ? आई डोंट नो. मेंटली और फिजिकली ठीक हूँ, इमोशनली और सोशली ठीक हूँ? आई हैव नो क्लू. इन सब एरियाज में भी ठीक हूँ, पर क्या मेरा स्पिरिचुअल कोशेंट ठीक है? We don't know. So we will be exploring well-being not through just one lens. We will be exploring it from different directions so that एक rainbow की तरह हम well-being को समझें. And rainbow वाला metaphor we will keep for the upcoming 5 sessions as well. Because हर चीज जो हम discuss करेंगे that exists on a spectrum or a rainbow. वेलबींग एक डायरेक्शन एक डायमेंशन में एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता है, बहुत सारे कलर्स में एग्जिस्ट करता है. कहीं पे पर्पल का कलर ज्यादा मिलेगा तो कहीं पे येलो शेड ज्यादा मिलेगा, विच इज ओके, बट यू हैव टू डिफाइन हाउ योर रेनबो लुक्स एट लार्ज, एंड दैट इज समथिंग दैट वी विल बी एक्सप्लोरिंग टुडे. बिफोर वी गो फर्दर, चेकिंग इन व्हाट इज द ingredients on your pizza today. Let's check कि हम लोग यहाँ पे 52 लोग हैं. What would be the ingredients of your pizza? Just write it in the chat box below. How are you feeling right now? A good place of checking with your feelings is sitting with yourself and really just asking, how am I feeling? Anyone? Excited? Thank you, ma'am. For me, it's safe, hope, amazed, scared. I see you, Prashant. Thank you for sharing. Aarti says love. Sanvi says hope. Thank you. Happy? All right. Good. Curious. I see you. Thank you for sharing. You're feeling calm and happy. Okay, that's nice. That sounds nice. Okay, fast, fast, fast. It takes 30 seconds to message. Not even more. Hope. Bharti says hope. Okay, someone says lonely, feeling good. Please know every kind of emotion and feeling is warmly accepted here. So you don't have to look for the good, feel good feelings. Even if you feel lonely or let's say that disgust, annoyed, rage, that is okay too. The first step of well-being is first experiencing how we feel and being fully honest with ourselves that this is how we feel. So today, anything and everything that you bring to the pizza is very, very welcomed. Bring it on. Somebody says sad but excited. Somebody says heavy. Thank you for sharing that. It's okay if something is not written on the screen, but you know that this is how you feel. That is okay too. And somebody wrote heavy. As far as I am checking, I don't think it's on the pizza ka space, but let me also express, brings us to a good reflection. A lot of things that are written here are also emotions in feelings. Anybody with any idea difference between emotions and feelings? Koi bhi. Anybody would like to take a try? नहीं बोलोगे तो मैं बोलूंगी. मैं ऐसे किसी को भी पिक आउट कर दूंगा. नहीं? Okay, so on my screen is Shivani.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good
Ma'am,
morning.
I think emotions are, when we are talking about emotions, it is more concerned about energy.
Okay.
Energy in motion, and feeling is a kind of poetic word that we use in our daily lives and poetry and all.
Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for like really breaking the word emotion as well. Energy in motion. I completely agree. I'll build on that. Thank you for sharing. And feelings, according to you, are more poetic. I understand. Next on my screen is Simran Batra. Can I invite you to share what is your understanding of emotions versus feelings? Okay, so Sarita ma'am says emotions is a mixed feelings, whereas feelings are not constant. I hear you, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing. How about Bharti Kumari? Would you like to share?
Emotions, it's something like what I am feeling right now. It's really a mixture, but
Okay.
somewhere if I close my eyes and ask what actually I want or I am craving for, then heart and mind or the sensation, it somehow it tells.
Okay.
Maybe the words are not very much very particular, but somehow we know what actually we are feeling. So that's all.
Thank you. Thank you. And I believe I must call you ma'am, right? So Bharti ma'am. Thank you for sharing. Somebody also wrote emotion is from me to outside and feeling is about outside to inwards. Okay. Different definitions. Primary difference बताती हूँ. We feel cold, right? Body में feel होता है. We feel hot. Body में feel होता है. Anger emotion है. Angry body में feel होता है. गुस्सा आता है. Your physical, your head crunches, jaw gets tight. हैप्पीनेस इमोशन है. एनर्जी इन मोशन बॉडी में एंटर करती है. हैप्पी फील होता है. दिल खुश होता है. पेट में बटरफ्लाईज होती हैं. बॉडी फील्स फ्री रिलैक्स्ड. सो एनीथिंग दैट यू कैन एक्सपीरियंस थ्रू योर सेंसरी इनपुट्स, बॉडी जहाँ पे इन्वॉल्व है वहां पे फीलिंग्स है. Emotions जो भी है, they're primarily just words, energy in motion. When they pass through your body or when they become a physical sensation, उसको feelings का नाम दिया जाता है. Emotions change, but feelings are not changed. Both emotions and feelings can change. Both are temporary. What is important is the kind of meaning that we attach to both emotions and feelings. For example, anger is a temporary emotion as well. Another question. जब आप लोगों को कुछ भी फील होता है, let's talk about more negative affective emotions right now. Negative affective, negative emotions नहीं बोल रही हूँ, ध्यान देंगे छोटी छोटी बातों पे that I'm not using negative emotions. No emotion is positive or negative, but emotions can create negative effect. मतलब हम in general कैसा feel कर रहे हैं या पॉजिटिव इफेक्ट कि हम फील कैसा कर रहे हैं इन आवर माइंड्स एंड आवर बॉडीज. तो हम लोग इमोशंस को नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव इमोशंस नहीं कहेंगे, हम बोलेंगे नेगेटिव अफेक्टिव कि ये इमोशन आता है तो मुझे कैसा फील करवा जाता है. पॉजिटिव अफेक्टिव, ये इमोशन आता है तो मुझे कैसा फील करवा जाता है. चेकिंग इन. जब आप गुस्सा होते हो, नाराज होते हो, कितना टाइम लग जाता है उस इमोशन को जाने में? एनीबडी? सात्विक, would you like to share? जब गुस्सा आता है कितनी देर लग जाती है उस गुस्से के
That
साथ?
depends on the quantum of things.
Okay, quantum of things, but in general.
किसने गुस्सा दिलाया और किस बात पे गुस्सा दिलाया.
Thank you.
Anyways, again, it also depends on how much I'm capable of getting through it. But in general, I think it takes about an hour or so.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Somebody says 5 minutes, 1 hour, 2-3 days. Satvik says an hour or so. General emotional arousal बताऊं कितनी देर का होता है scientifically? Emotion is an arousal. हमारी body में कुछ change हुआ, it's an arousal. कितना होता है? Just guess. 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. Thank you, Ayushi. Depends on the issue. 30 seconds. Thank you, Sarita ma'am. It's technically 20 seconds. 20 seconds is all that an emotion needs and creates an arousal. उसके बाद the meaning that we attach to that emotion is what creates the general space. ये क्यों important हैं चीजें, and मैं बार बार build करूंगी through the 5 sessions, because यही general well-being define कर रही होता है, the state of your emotions, the way that you are feeling, the way that you attaching meaning to that emotions. गुस्सा आया, but what did I say about that anger is what defines how I treat anger in my life. बुरा लगा, but what did I say about that thing is what defines how I feel about myself, about that emotion as well. Okay, if we create hurt, there's anger inside. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. So 20 seconds. उसके बाद हम सिर्फ उस बात पे गुस्सा हो रहे थे जिस बात पे हमें गुस्सा आया था originally, जब हम actually moment में गुस्सा हुए थे. And that's like a cycle जो चलता रहता है. So if it's taking 1-2 days, 4 days, 5 days, 10 days, the idea is to just become a constant or a conscious observer that ये 20 seconds में खत्म हो सकता है. So the next time that you are experiencing an emotion that you don't want to experience, which is heavy, which is, you know, staying, which is harder to process, just remind yourself that if only I can allow this emotion to pass right now, if only I can allow this feeling to pass right now, the things will be okay, because 20 seconds hold karna is the normal capacity. Uske beyond, it's me who is holding on to it a little tighter than I have to, and slowly and gradually release. And we will do these exercises. We will learn tools, how to process things, जिससे हम समझ पाए कि नहीं भी हो रहा तो भी क्या करना है. Make sense? कोई भी questions हो इसके बीच में, feel free to drop them in the chat. That was me. We have gone through the introductions. Well-being ideally scientifically defined होती है the experience of health, happiness and prosperity in general. It includes having good mental health, life satisfaction, and a sense of meaning and purpose in life, and the ability to manage stress. सारी चीजें बहुत important हैं, and I'll go word by word. It's a general experience. मतलब wellness is the absence of illness. जहाँ पे आप बीमार नहीं हो, आपको कोई बीमारी diagnose नहीं हो सकती, you are well. But well-being जो है वो experience है उस wellness का. मैं ठीक हूँ पर मेरी बॉडी में मुझे ठीक महसूस नहीं हो रहा. मेरे को कोई बीमारी नहीं है पर मुझे सुबह उठा नहीं जा रहा. मेरे को कोई बीमारी नहीं है बट अदरवाइज आई फील रेस्टलेस, और मेरे को बहुत स्ट्रेस होता है कि एग्जाम डेडलाइन आ गई, एकेडमिक टाइमलाइन आ गई, मम्मी ने ये कह दिया तो मैं उनको वापस जवाब कैसे दूंगी, मैं क्या कहूंगी, मम्मी को पता चल गया तो, एंड यू नो फ्रेंड्स को ना कैसे बोलूं, मेरी वैल्यूज मैच नहीं करती जो मुझसे एक्सपेक्टेशन है, चाहे फ्रेंड्स में या आउटसाइड, मेरी वैल्यूज मैच नहीं कर रही है. दैट इज ऑल्सो अ ग्रेट क्रिएटर ऑफ स्ट्रेस दैट वी विल एक्सप्लोर इन द 5 सेशंस, कि कैसे ये इंटरनल स्ट्रेसर्स होते हैं कि मैं सच बोलना चाह रहा होता बट दिस सिचुएशन इज आस्किंग मी टू लाई. How do I change? And how do I align my values? How do I integrate honesty in that space कि मेरी values से मैं aligned रहूंगा या रहूंगी? And that are ways of managing stress and creating internal harmony as well. Good mental health के लिए high life satisfaction. Life satisfaction is that how do you generally feel about your life? A very mundane day, सबसे boring दिन तुम्हारी लाइफ का, and how are you feeling about that day? Do you generally feel a sense of satisfaction in just waking up, going to college, waking up, cooking? And I know that there are teachers here as well. So waking up, brushing your teeth. तमाशा मूवी देखी हो तो वो जैसे पूरा उसका डे दिखाते हैं ना, एक बहुत मोनोटोनस डे. एंड तमाशा मूवी में रणबीर कपूर is in general very dissatisfied with the kind of life that he's living. So how do you feel about the mundane activities की कॉफी बनानी है, कॉफी बना के ग्लास में डालनी है, पीनी है. It's about every little moment and how do you feel about those little moments that define your life satisfaction at large. Sense of meaning and purpose. Honestly, I had the best job, but I wasn't finding a meaning and purpose in what I did. It was the best job. I was spending 14 hours in a day working through that job, managing crisis after crisis, getting every kind of promotion that you could think of. But meaning नहीं आ रहा था, समझ नहीं आ रहा था कि कर रही हूँ 14 घंटे जा रहे हैं पर किस लिए. And that was very purposeless, and that was creating stress in my life because it did not feel that I was called to do this or I was aligned to do this. And a lot of people will talk about this, that जब हम अपने passion oriented काम कर रहे होते हैं, when we are doing something that we feel is meaningful and purposeful, we feel very happy doing that. Volunteer hours कर रहे होते हैं, that अगर मतलब कई बार मैंने सुना है डॉक्टर से भी अदरवाइज पूछो, दे डोंट कंप्लेन, अगर आधी रात को जगा के भी उनसे पूछ लो दैट ओके कि क्या हो रहा है, या यू हैव टू केयर फॉर अ पेशेंट, अ लॉट ऑफ डॉक्टर्स से दैट इट्स ओके फॉर अस एंड दे लीडिंग दैट काइंड ऑफ लाइफ. बट इन जनरल हम कॉर्पोरेट्स में बात करते हैं वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस की. कॉर्पोरेट्स में हम बोलेंगे कि 8 hours के बियॉन्ड कोई जगाए नहीं बिकॉज उनको स्ट्रेस पड़ता है. बट डॉक्टर्स आर कॉन्स्टेंटली ऑन द watch, and a lot of them don't really complain about that stress. Whereas corporates में the moment it's like an added timeline, added deadline जो महीनों में कभी आ रही होती है, they say that it has been a very stressful month. What is the difference? The difference in the meaning and purpose of the work that they're doing. If and if at all you're finding meaning and purpose in the kind of things that you're engaging with in life, your stress and the ability to manage that stress also changes. And stress को तो हम separately explore करेंगे in our upcoming sessions. I see somebody asking a question, is facing the emotion only optional to deal with it or getting over that emotion? Shivani, I would like to understand clearly that you're asking कि emotion को generally बैठना ही है उस emotion के साथ and face ही करना है. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. The only sometimes जब वो emotion वाला space आता है, right? So good tagline to go with that is टेढ़ा है but मेरा है. कैसा भी emotion है, it's still yours at the end of the day. You deal with it today, you deal with it 40 years from now, it will still be yours. And you will see that a lot of people, even on like, चारपाई पे बैठ के दादियाँ कई बार upset हो रही होती है कि मेरे साथ 20 साल पहले ऐसा हुआ था. So emotion जिसकी लाइफ स्पैन 20 seconds था, क्योंकि वो प्रोसेस नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि उसके साथ डील नहीं किया, मैनेज नहीं किया, वो 20 years सिस्टम में रहा. And till date they remember that 20 years ago this is what happened to me. And that's a way of processing. Repeatedly बार बार बोलना उसके बारे में is also a way of processing. हम उसको desensitization बोलते हैं कि हम बार बार बात करते हैं उस बारे में, जिससे वो हर थोड़ी बार थोड़ी थोड़ी इंटेंसिटी कम होती जाए. यहाँ पे the only way नहीं है emotion को face करना, but healthier way है. That's the difference. Another difference is no emotion needs to get over with. चाहे वो कोई भी emotion हो, we need to process it. We need to find space for that emotion because arousal है. Arousal जैसे ही वो calmness create करेगा हमारे systems में, it will settle down on its own. So we don't need to throw it away anywhere or use a garbage bin and throw anything away. We just need a space to find calmness with that emotion so that that finds space as well and वो settle हो जाए हमारी bodies में. Another thing, हम build करेंगे आने वाले sessions में भी resilience बोलते हैं हम emotions के साथ. That are we able to sit with the hardest of our emotions? कुछ ऐसे emotions होते हैं जो सच में हमारे nervous system को भी overwhelm कर जाते हैं. For example, loneliness. For example, sadness. For example, extreme grief. वो हमारे को सीधा nervous system को shock देते हैं. But do we have the capacity to regulate those kind of emotions as well? And वो हम build करेंगे. And there are exercises in the upcoming 5 sessions कि हम nervous system space में ही regulation करें emotions का. क्योंकि इमोशंस फाइनली न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर का ऊपर नीचे है तो सीधा नर्वस सिस्टम के साथ काम करते हैं. सो लॉट ऑफ सोमैटिक वेज, बॉडी के वेज ऑफ वर्किंग थ्रू दैट इमोशंस. द मोर दैट वी हैव टूल्स, हमें डर नहीं लगता फिर उस चीज के लिए. तो हम टूल बिल्डिंग करेंगे, हम अंडरस्टैंडिंग डेप्थ की बढ़ाएंगे, हम अपना रिलेशनशिप चेंज करेंगे, मीनिंग चेंज करेंगे विद दोज इमोशंस, so that we understand slowly and gradually that how are we sitting with those emotions, and then it's not so scary and monstrous anymore. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to drop them in. I'll just take a few moments because we have a mindfulness exercise right after, just to talk about the different dimensions of well-being. Now again, emphasizing that जब हम well-being की बात कर रहे हैं, हम being बहुत important है उस wellness के साथ. कि well तो हम हैं, but there is a sense of being, which is a state. I am being Being is B-I-N-G, right? So it's also about the present moment of experience. It's not so much about what is the definition of it. It is about the experience. It is about the experience of environmental well-being, which is right now, अगर pollution ज़्यादा हो रहा होता है, कितने लोग बोलते हैं हमें सर दर्द हो रहा है. So your environmental well-being actually impacts your physical well-being. सर दर्द हो रहा होता है, हम चिड़चिड़े हो जाते हैं. Impacts our emotional well-being. चिड़चिड़े हो जाते हैं, हमारा काम अफेक्ट होता है. सर दर्द हो रहा होता है, occupational well-being हिलाता है. Intellectual well-being, हम decisions क्या ले रहे होते हैं. So it impacts everything. Let's talk about politics is a part of environmental well-being. Right now the war is happening, a lot of us are in stress about it, and in general just news जिस तरीके से present करी जा रही होती है, it creates stress. It is causing intellectual well-being because we are going over the news and constantly trying to keep ourselves informed. Might just be creating a financial well-being pay question as well, because the markets went down 2,700 points on the first day itself. Social well-being change ho raha hai because how we are generally relating with the society and world at large is changing and redefining. Spiritual well-being change ho raha hai because a lot of things happen on a very spiritual note for us. For example, the pain in the world, it's a very spiritual experience. It's not something that is a very emotional experience, because pain is not an emotion, but hum sab experience kar rahe hote hain the moment there's pain in the world, and we are experiencing that. And their spiritual well-being, the kind of prayers that we send, right? Anytime that we see that there's unrest in the world, we want to send prayers. What is that prayers? We are we are trying to amplify the space of our spiritual well-being, and उस spiritual well-being से in general हम अपना well-being ensure कर रहे हैं, चाहे फिर वो emotional हो, physical हो, environmental हो. आज की डेट में जितने disorders हैं, उन सब के जब आप क्राइटेरिया पढ़ोगे, भी डायबिटीज, हाइपरटेंशन, जो भी लाइफस्टाइल डिसऑर्डर्स है, पीसीओएस, you go and read about more severe disorders as well, जैसे heart dysfunctionality वाले disorders होते हैं. Every one of them will write stress as a major cause for that breakdown. They will talk about stressors in life, including cancers. They will write, जब वो कर रहे होते हैं studies, they will write that adverse life situations या फिर exposure to extreme stress as a cause of causing that disease. So which basically means कि emotional space में, well-being space में एक झटका आया because of any XYZ factors, and it ended up causing a physical manifestation of that as well. कि physical breakdown भी cause कर दिया उस चीज ने. So when we speak about well-being, we're going to be talking about a lot of different dimensions, which also includes, things like, for example, I'm constantly sharing कि मेरे को financial stress है, but do I know how to make up savings? Right? That finances are causing me stress, but I don't know how to manage my finances. So the reason is not the finances causing me stress, or then I will say that my job is not good because it's not paying me well. The question is that me not knowing how to manage my finances, that is causing me financial stress. So stressors are very extreme. Stressors are sometimes systematic, that हमारी country में the way that employment abhi question mark hai, youth employment, and it causes a lot of stress, right? कि bachelors के बाद job मिलेगी, कैसी job मिलेगी, and all of that. And that is a systematic stress. But again, all of this happening, a good question of exploring कि हम क्या control कर सकते हैं in the areas that are intellectual, emotional, physical, spiritual well-being. The 4 things that you're seeing ऊपर are the 4 things that are in your hand to change, in your capacity to improve, so that improves the rest 4 as well, which is environmental well-being, occupational well-being, financial well-being, and social well-being at large. And we will focus on how we can change what is in our hand to change. Okay, somebody wrote that because of stress, the person's head aches. So how to manage that kind of stress? Don't worry, we will start working through mindfulness exercises. We will start working through pain management exercises as well. It is there in the 3rd or 4th session. Please inviting you to join. एक recommendation दूंगी that in general the sessions are individual as well कि 1 घंटा एक topic, but हर घंटा हर topic is a very specific inlay into what we are trying to achieve. I would recommend that please show up for all. Give me one Sunday for entire March, in 1 hour of your day, so that there's more integration of what we are trying to do. But in general, just drop in on the sessions so that there's something for you to take away. And all of these things work on the things of well-being that we're talking about. I will be very sure to give you tools. One of the things that I really feel is कि जब हमारे पास tools होते हैं, हमारे पास औजार होते हैं, we feel more prepared to deal with life things. So I'll be sure to share tools with you. आज हम एक breath work करेंगे, that helps with stress as well. And another thing that I'll leave you with is a questionnaire to check your own well-being and bring in the next session. Sarita ma'am shares, I feel confused at times, and because of it, I seldom have deep sleeps. Is it because I'm disturbed in a way? Yes. So nervous system में two things that you will notice if your well-being is idhar udhar. One is rest, second is digest. दो ही symptoms हैं जो इमोशनल वेलबींग या फिर हमारा जनरल वेलबींग इधर उधर होता है तो हमारा नर्वस सिस्टम हमें उससे सिग्नल दे रहा होता है. वन इज डिस्टर्बेंस इन रेस्ट व्हिच इज बेसिकली स्लीप एंड हाउ आई फील इन माय बॉडी, एंड दिस नेक्स्ट इज डाइजेस्ट. किसी को भी अगर इन जनरल इंडिजेशन रहता है, एसिडिटी प्रॉब्लम्स रहती हैं, इन जनरल रहता है दैट दे डोंट फील वेल इन देयर बॉडी, ब्लोटेड फील रहता है. सो two areas to look out for when we talk about well-being. हमारी body signal कर रही होती है by changes in our rest and digest. So inviting you and disturbed in a way, I wouldn't look at it as anything different than just ऊपर नीचे. Explore that for yourself in your own space. But for example, that the war broke the day that I was coming back home, I didn't see the news and I was disturbed that day. And that is okay because the environmental shift happened. And it took me a couple of hours, honestly, on that day to sit with myself and just like really bring myself down to what can I control? What can I do about it? How can I sit in my space and not let my nervous system get impacted by it, my body get impacted by it, my spiritual and emotional health get impacted by it? And that took a few moments. And then I started, the way that I was talking, the process of praying, the process of well-being, the process of sending vibrations, the process of just really sitting with ourselves and really informing others as well that why war is not the way to go, why peace is the chosen method. So again, exploring what we can do. Disturb hum sab hote hain, but how can we bring ourselves back to the meter is the question, and that is what I invite you to explore. Okay, 11:09, we are right on time. Any questions before we start a breathwork exercise? Yes, Shivani.
Ma'am, when we come to express our emotions, there are people who prefer writing over communicating their emotions with the other people. So is it a better way, like writing? Is it a suitable therapy for anyone who wants to just face their emotion, or who's not very interested or not able to communicate his or her emotions with the people around him or her?
Okay, thank you for sharing. So जब हम नहीं communicate कर पा रहे, मतलब emotions तो हैं but कहीं अटके हुए हैं, right? So any way to bring them out is a good way for the person. कि अगर वो बात नहीं करके कर पा रहे हैं और लिख के कर पा रहे हैं, completely okay. Difference यहाँ पे build करूंगी something that is therapeutic versus something that is therapy. Therapy is a treatment process. Yes, Sarita ma'am, just a second, I'll be back at you. So therapeutic is anything. मेरा friend से मिलना is therapeutic. Cooking can be therapeutic. Me planting trees can be therapeutic, but therapy is an intervention process. तो वो एक प्रोफेशनल के साथ ही होता है. So writing can definitely be therapeutic. Talking about it is therapeutic. Journaling about it is therapeutic. Journaling भी बहुत different types की हो सकती है. There's audio journaling as well. कि आपको नहीं किसी से बात करनी है, आपको नहीं safe space मिल रहा है, pick up a recording device, go on a walk, put it on your phone and talk about the thing that you wanted to talk about. Bring it out of your system. And that is a good way to journal as well. Video journaling. Zoom sub comfortable ho gaya, just put on your Zoom screen, talk to yourself about something. That is a good way to journal as well. Mirror work is recommended as well. Look at yourself in the mirror, talk to yourself about that thing that is bothering you, offer yourself words of affirmation. That is beautiful as well. All different ways of emotional processing, all at our access. But हम क्या यूज कर रहे हैं, क्या टूल है हमारे पास, किस तरीके से हम उसको यूज कर रहे हैं, दैट इज व्हाट डिफाइंस कि वो हमारे लिए कितना काम कर रहा है. आई होप दैट आंसर्स योर क्वेश्चन.
Yes,
All right. Thank you. Yes, Sarita ma'am. Thank you for waiting.
Thank you, Bhavya. It's such a nice session. Thank you so much for this session, and thank you, Jack Dawson. I have a question and also an observation. My point is here. My question here is the moment we feel stressed about many things together, be it occupational or personal or time management and all that, because we all are working and we have that stress. Let me share my experience because I have a special child at home. I have a
Okay.
17-year-old daughter with autism spectrum disorder. So many a time I feel overwhelmed with the kind of task I have at hand, and I keeps on, sometimes I keeps on piling the works, and sometimes I also feel guilty about it. That I am not doing justice to either of it, either my occupational or professional thing or things at home. So how to, I mean, this is a very broad question. Of course, during the session, you can answer that. The key question for me is how to keep calm at times, because I feel restless and overwhelmed, and that's why probably my sleeping pattern is also my eating pattern, everything is also at stake. I keeps on going back and forth. Sometimes I'm very calm, organized, but at times I feel confused and having lots of stress at work at home.
Thank you for sharing, ma'am, and sending you more strength. I understand from personal experience as well that caregiving is a stressful job in itself sometimes. So more strength to you. And thank you for finding it a safe space to share that with us as well. From my experience as well as professional recommendation, what I can share is कि जब moments of stress होते हैं, उसमें हमें tools याद आए, उसमें हम लोग कामनेस इंड्यूस कर पाए, उसके लिए सबसे पहले जरूरी होता है कि जिन मोमेंट्स में स्ट्रेस नहीं है उन मोमेंट्स में भी हम कामनेस और टूल्स यूज कर रहे हो जो अदरवाइज हमारे को हेल्प कर सकते हैं. सो मॉर्निंग रूटीन, जस्ट 5 to 7 minutes ऑफ योर डे, एंड दिस वी विल एक्सप्लोर इन द अपकमिंग स्पेसेस एज वेल. बहुत सिंपल एक्सरसाइजेस होती है. आज हम जो करेंगे दैट इज अ रिदमिक ब्रीदिंग टेक्निक ऑल्सो. सो उसमें वी विल स्टार्ट लर्निंग दैट कैसे हम रिदम क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. बॉडी जब रिदमिक होती है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमारी हार्ट बीट, इट्स वेरी रिदमिक, राइट? तो जितना जितना हम अपनी बॉडी को रिदम दे पाते हैं, आज वाली टेक्निक इज अबाउट दैट, हम उतना ज्यादा अपने नर्वस सिस्टम को काम कर पाते हैं. स्ट्रेस को हम जब एक्सप्लोर करेंगे आने वाले लेक्चर में, सो स्ट्रेस को समझेंगे दैट स्ट्रेस इज द रिस्पॉन्स टू थ्रेट. एनीथिंग दैट फील्स कि मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगी या मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा, दैट डायमेंशन क्रिएट स्ट्रेस. द डिफरेंस बिटवीन व्हाट इज नीडेड वर्सेस व्हाट इज व्हाट आई कैन ऑफर वर्सेस व्हाट इज एक्सपेक्टेड कैन बी स्ट्रेसफुल. सो हम ये सारी चीजें एक्सप्लोर करेंगे in the upcoming days. Stress के साथ manage करने के लिए an important thing is that stress और overwhelm में difference समझना है. That stress is something that is causing me, मुझे पता है किस वजह से मुझे stress हो रहा है. Overwhelm is जब it takes over me, like my body needs support at that time. उस moment में we work through the body first instead of mental techniques. So I will be sure to share the things that work in overwhelm as well. Today's technique is also a beautiful tool to take away. Please experiment it within the week with yourself and let me know how that worked. Very, very simple. किसी को पता भी नहीं चलता. So even if you're in an interview, आप ये use कर सकते हो. सामने interviewer को पता भी नहीं है आप कर रहे हो, but you're managing your stress. I have done it in trainings that sometimes I've felt overwhelmed in the trainings, looking at the number of people or the way that people, sometimes respond. And I was working with teenagers. Sometimes they can be very overwhelming. So I was using the breathing techniques. Nobody had to know, but I could bring myself to a space jahan pe I was regulated. So regulation is the word, and we will work through those spaces. I hope you find what you're looking forward to and some tools through this space. I hope that helps, ma'am.
Yes, certainly it is. Thank you, Bhavya. Thank
No
you.
problem. All right. Everybody, with your permission, now we'll do a breath work exercise. Give me a thumbs up if you're right here, right now. अभी हो यहाँ पे, जागे हुए हो, सो तो नहीं गए संडे को? ठीक है, good. All right. बहुत सिंपल एक्सरसाइज है, बहुत ही ज्यादा सिंपल एक्सरसाइज है. सबसे सिंपल काम करना है लाइफ में, जो तुम काम नहीं भी कर रहे हो तो तभी भी कर रहे हो तो, which is breathing, right? So asking you to do a very, very simple thing. The only thing is that the kind of breathing that we will do will induce rhythm in our breathing. हम सांस इस तरीके से लेंगे कि रिदम हो. फॉलो माय लीड. जहां जहां पे मैं बोलूं पॉज एंड आई विल शो यू अ नंबर, उतने मोमेंट्स के लिए हमें पॉज लेना है, राइट? पॉज बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि जहां पे हमने सुना होगा अपने कल्चरल कॉन्टेक्स्ट में कि सोच के बोलो, 1 मिनट सोच लो फिर बोलो. इंटरव्यूअर्स भी बोलते हैं टेक अ मोमेंट, आंसर मी बैक. That moment is very necessary because that moment is all we need to calm our nervous systems. And वैसे electricity की तरह फेंक रहा होता है neural impulses. खतरा खतरा खतरा, that is stress. The moment you can take this moment and break that chain of khatra 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 wala space, you can calm your body and your mind, and that's all that we need. So we're going to lean in on that moment, particular specific moment, and we're going to learn how can we create that moment, and not just one moment, keep increasing the gap with that moment. Make sense? All right, so let's start. The idea is hum saans andar lenge, we will hold it for 1, we will breathe out, we will hold it for 1. Works? Breathe in with me. एंड सांस लेनी है, आवाज नहीं आनी चाहिए सांस लेते हुए. जब डीप ब्रेथ लेने को बोलते हैं, कई बार हम अपनी बॉडी को स्ट्रेस दे देते कि करके आवाज निकालते हैं, वो नहीं करना है खुद के साथ. द ब्रेथ विल गेट डीपर स्लोली एंड ग्रेजुअली जितना प्रैक्टिस करोगे, बट अभी जितना कैपेसिटी है बॉडी की डीप ब्रेथ लेने की, उतनी कैपेसिटी लेंगे. नो स्ट्रेस कॉज्ड फॉर आवरसेल्व्स एंड विद आवरसेल्व्स. सो वी विल डीपली ब्रीथ इन, पॉज फॉर 1, breathe out, pause for 1. अभी ना सांस लेनी है ना कुछ करना है, just pause. We'll breathe in, pause for 1, breathe out, pause for 1. Breathe in, 1 second pause, breathe out, 1 second pause. Breathe in, 1, 2, breathe out, 1, 2. Breathe in, 1, 2, breathe out, 1, 2. Breathe in, 1, 2. Breathe out, 1, 2. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3. We'll ideally take it to 6. जो कर पा रहा है very good. नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो 3 तक रखना. We will take it to 6. So breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come back to your breath. Come back to your body. Just check in. How are you feeling? How are you feeling and how are you feeling now? Anybody who would like to share, please let me know in the chat. Any experiences of how your body is feeling stable? Thank you. Relaxed, very good feeling. I'm feeling more calm, feeling a little bit fresh. Okay, very simple. Anybody जिससे नहीं हुआ? I can feel my heart pumping. Thank you. ठीक है. Now, a lot of times, this is one exercise आप कहीं पे भी कर सकते हो. Interviews में कर सकते हो. Exam time में exam room में कर सकते हो. जहाँ जरूरत लगे, बात करते करते कभी लड़ाई हो जाए तो कर सकते हो. It's such a simple technique that just breaks that threat chain जो हमारी body create कर रही होती है. And stress काम करते your body can relax. If you can induce it in your everyday, thank you for sharing. जब भी stress का change चल रहा, all you need to do is bring yourself back in the present moment, and that one moment of mindfulness, that one moment of coming back to the body like we do, like somebody was sharing, and not just the body, a relaxed state of body is beautiful, something that we can really create for ourselves without anybody having to know, without any kind of need in any change, right? And agar aap apni everyday practice mein dal sakte ho, just before you wake up from the bed, right? A lot of times hum jhatke se uthte hain subah, and bell alarm baja, hum jhatke se uthte hain and we just get up and do our thing. If while the alarm is going, and you can just increase this, induce this practice in your breath work, in your everyday, that also changes the way that your body responds to your day, the way that your mind responds to the day, and the way that you are ready to take care of things as well. Thank you, Rashi. Thank you for sharing. Really beautiful experience with you guys as well. Somebody has asked that, do I give personal counseling? I do. I am at a private practice as well. However, I'm booked out till May. So I will share aane wale days mein. I'll be happy to share more resources and people as well. I am working at AIMS, as Shalja ma'am mentioned as well. The idea is कि बहुत feasible तरीके से, because therapy unaffordable हो जाती है कई बार, तो बहुत feasible तरीके से आपको कैसे therapeutic support मिल सकता है, mental health support मिल सकता है from professional at AIMS, IMC, ICMR, ABHAS. So all of us are volunteering to come together on that platform to offer mental health services as well. I will be happy to share my link डाल दूंगी यहाँ पे भी, so that you can get access to quality mental health support as well. I will put in Berkeley ka link, the one that I promised. So your homework for this session is, do I offer internships? I do. They will be open soon. I will let you know when they do. Thank you for your interest. That's very warm. So the homework this time is, I am putting in the link before you come next time, inviting you to take this well-being scale. It generally talks about the different areas of your well-being, checking in that how well are you feeling. It's a questionnaire. You will receive the responses in your inbox. I think within 30 minutes mein response aa jata hai. Requesting the team to also please share this on the group for everyone to take as a resource. जितना ज्यादा हमें पता होगा हमारे बारे में, हम उतना ज्यादा चीजें डील कर पाएंगे better. So the idea is to work alongside that. Any questions, anything that I can answer, I'm happy to take in the last 5 minutes. Or if Shalja ma'am has any feedback or anything that we must cover for the upcoming sessions, please feel free to let me know.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your enlightening and motivating talk. Now we invite our questions from our dear audience.
Hello.
Yes,
Hi. Can I ask?
sure. Please go ahead.
Um, so what is the homework for us for this week? If you can elaborate a little bit on it.
So I will share the screen so that there's no confusion. You will go on the link. It will open into something like this, right? You will take the quiz. यहाँ पे take the quiz का option है. Quiz लेना है. जब आप quiz पे click करेंगे, ये Google Form में open करेगा.
Okay.
Right? आप जब Google Form लिखेंगे, I have a good work-life balance. ये सारे जो dimensions हमने बात किया है, उसके बारे में बात कर रहा है. After you are done with this, right, it will send you an email with your personalized report of well-being.
Thank you.
कि आपका वेलबींग कैसा है एट दिस मोमेंट, ये उसका रिपोर्ट आपको भेजेगा. द आइडिया इज दैट यू नो बिफोर आवर नेक्स्ट सेशन कि कौन से एरिया, कौन से डायमेंशन में यू नीड मोर हेल्प, सो दैट जो हम टूल्स यूज कर रहे हैं, जो हम बातें कर रहे हैं, यू कैन ब्रिंग रेलेवेंट क्वेश्चंस एज वेल. यू कैन ब्रिंग रेलेवेंट इनसाइट स्पेसिफिक टू योर ओन स्पेसिफिक एरिया. एंड थ्रू द 5, एक महीना काफी होता है, तो 5 वीक्स में आप ऑब्जर्व कर पाओ कि अगर काम कर पाए उस चीज में तो कितना काम कर पाए, या कोई इम्प्रूवमेंट या डेवलपमेंट एरिया बिल्ड हो पाया तो.
Thank you. Thank you.
नो प्रॉब्लम. Okay, someone asked how to manage things. Prashant, could you be a little more specific? What kind of things are we talking about? Rashi says, ma'am, sometimes we feel that we are weaker than other and I cannot do anything without her. So I can we avoid this type of thought. We will work through, Rashi, one of the things that we will work through in our upcoming sessions is really understanding that वो weakness क्यों feel हो रही है. Because like I said, right, that जो भी चीज हमारे को incapable, incapacitated feel करवाएगी, वो stress increase करेगी. So one of the things that I can share is that यहाँ पे, rather than focusing on how to change that kind of thought, change how your body feels when you feel this thing. आज का जो tool है, that's a beautiful tool to use. Stress को break करो and break this cycle of thoughts as well, because a lot of times these are thoughts. आप जितना thoughts के साथ ये चीज होती है, आप जितना ज्यादा engage करते हो ना, कई बार वो ऐसे loop में और ही गड्ढे में नीचे ले जाते हैं. So sometimes we stop the thoughts where they are, we disengage with them rather than engaging with them. So disengage with that thought, connect with yourself, connect with your body. Weaker feel हो रहा, so really instead of comparison with another, think and write what are your specific strengths that you bring to the platform, that are very specific and special to you. And we will focus on growing them, spending time with them, instead of like spending time on where we are weaker, because बहुत चीजें हैं. I am weak at 100 things as well, but I also know that I bring 200 strengths perhaps to the world. So we will focus on what we bring, then what we cannot bring, and we will start building towards them as well. Somebody said I'm feeling lonely in college nowadays. Okay. I see you. Thank you for sharing that you're feeling lonely in college. That can be a very vivid and life experience. Something that I recommend is please try out societies. Please try out, just when you're sitting in the canteen, try to reach out to people. One of my favorite people in college every day was Nihal Bhaiya. I'm not sure abhi wo hai ya nahi, but we would talk every day. Like even if I did not have specific conversation with friends, I remember that Nihal Bhaiya, while talking, वो आते जाते भी बात करते थे, and that was my favorite thing. Psychology department में Birbal sir है. He used to talk to me a lot. I remember my political science teacher was one of my favorite teachers to speak with. So if you're feeling lonely, know that college is one of those spaces जहाँ पे आपके पास peers से ज़्यादा teachers friendly हैं, बाकी spaces हैं, and there are different departments to interact with. So inviting you to engage with them, inviting you to try activities outside of college as well. There are many things to do outside of college as well. There's Rotary clubs, Rotaract clubs, there's ISEC, there's more opportunities to find like-minded people. And it's also about just finding that like-minded gang. I hope you can give a try to finding that space as well. I hope, Amrita, I was helpful. Can you give me a thumbs up if I was? Somebody said how to deal with our close ones with whom our thinking is totally opposite. Okay, Ayushi, I'd like to answer this specifically a little while later in our upcoming session. So I hope I can take this up. I'll make a note of it definitely, and I'll take it up in the upcoming sessions. Prashant, you could. Please go ahead and share. Feel free to unmute and share. Can you hear me, Prashant? Okay, you're not able to unmute. Can you now?
Yeah, ma'am. Good morning. Now, so
Good
I'm
morning.
able to.
Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, actually, I have experienced this thing many a times that somebody says to me, deep down, I stuck to that particular thing and just explaining why they had done this to me, why they had given particular line to me. So I'm just little bit confused about this and take that thought for longest days as that. And I remember that I will not meet them again. And I will never talk to them. I will not go that place every time because I don't feel nice to with them, these people. So I will not go there anytime. And also, I'm a student. I'm also earning from to the tuition center, so I'm not able to manage my timetable at my studies and on my the tuition center. And one more thing that is, something is good outside, if everything is good outside, that doesn't mean that everything is good at your home place also.
I
So
agree.
how to make balance about these things? I'm not able to that.
Okay, sounds like relational challenges, right? The way that we interact with other people, the people who surround us and who are around us is your challenge perhaps right now, right? So for you, I invite you to use the next 5 weeks to really check in with the well-being space of emotional well-being as well as social well-being, right? Appreciating you, number one, for managing both academics as well as the side income. I know from personal experience can be a hard thing to manage, but something that can be a good space would be that create your list of priorities. Kai baar the others think might have to take a back front, kai baar the academic space might have to take a little back seat while you're managing the finances. So अपना list जरूर बना के रखना. A to-do list every day really helps. Month का in general बना कर रखना. Something that I also used to do was, मेरे पास एक एक्सेल शीट हुआ करती थी जहाँ पे मैं आवर्स लिखती थी. कई बार हमें पता ही नहीं चलता, हम घंटे वेस्ट कर जाते हैं काम करने में और हमें लगता है हमने बहुत सारा काम किया, जबकि वो काम बहुत थोड़े टाइम में हो सकता था. सो while you're making your list, also assign कि कितनी देर लगनी चाहिए उस काम को करने के लिए, so that you know कि तुमने अगर 1 घंटे का काम करना था पर तुमने 3 घंटे लगा दिए उसको काम करने में. So you know the hours that went, which were basically laps, कि productivity laps था वो. बिकॉज कई बार हम ओवरवेलम हो जाते हैं, मैं इतने घंटे काम कर रही हूँ, बट हम ये भूल जाते हैं दैट उसमें से प्रोडक्टिव आवर्स बहुत ही कम होते हैं कई बार. सो इनवाइटिंग यू टू डू दैट specifically if any of you are managing finances outside or any activities other than that as well. Societies का काम कर रहे हो, outside clubs में काम कर रहे हो, so do write कि क्या क्या काम करना है and उस काम के साथ कितने hours assign करने हैं उस काम को, दूसरे काम को भी. बिकॉज कई बार हमें लग रहा होता है हम बहुत काम कर रहे हैं एंड दैट्स द बायस. हम काम बहुत ही कम कर रहे होते हैं बट हम जनरली ओवरवेलम्ड होते हैं कि बहुत सारा काम है. As for you spoke about relational challenges, may you specifically mention things like कि किसी ने कुछ कहा and you decided that you won't go back to them again, or familial challenges. I hear you. That is something very specific. I would not want to give a general answer to that, but inviting you to really use this time in the 5 series to think about those lines कि वो कैसे stress create कर रहा है और तुम्हारे को specifically क्या create कर रहा है वो वाला चीज. And you can perhaps like sit with yourself and find your own answers and ways to manage those specific situations. Another thing can be like really exploring कि ये मुझे impact कर रहा है. Definitely sit and acknowledge that, but also sit and acknowledge इसको हम बोलते हैं that from the space of problem thinking shift to the space of solution thinking. कि ये problem है, definitely consciously sit with yourself and said कि problem तो ये है, full stop. Solution क्या क्या है, let me think on those lines and create a list of solutions. Create perhaps a audio list of like WhatsApp note पे list of solutions and things that you can do and try and experiment with those solutions as well. So it does not feel too stressful कि ऐसे ही करना है, but you're experimenting, you're keeping it light as well. And another thing that I definitely recommend is use tools that you're learning to manage the general well-being. Because आप generally अच्छा feel कर रहे होते हो तो आप challenges से भी better deal कर रहे होते हो. I hope that helps. I'll be mindful of time and give it back to the team. It's 11:36.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering all the questions very patiently. First, I would like to thank Gandhi Study Circle of Zakir Hussain Delhi College for providing this platform to us. Next, I don't have enough words to thank our esteemed guest, Bhavya Arora ma'am, for giving her precious time to us and motivating us through her inspiring words. This session wouldn't have been a successful one, and Shelja ma'am.